Sushruta for NEET is now available on the Google Play Store. Try it out for free.
There should be some response,
Yes, sir.
Yes. In today's class, we are going to study about biodiversity and conservation, the last part of this chapter. We are discussing yesterday why that we should conserve biodiversity. What is the importance of that? And we are continuing that, the same aspect. Why should we conserve biodiversity? We are happy, no? We are happy with your father, mother, uncle, auntie, our cousins, our relatives, our well-wishers, our friends. So we are all happy. Why we should bother about the different plants? Why we should bother about the different types of birds, butterflies, ants, spiders, frogs, lizards? Many times we have cursed this lizard. And I know Canisa does all type of dances known, learned or unlearned whenever she sights a lizard in the bathroom or in her study room. Am I right, Canisa? Canisa,
Yes, sir.
am I right?
Yes, sir.
How I know? Telepathy. You might have thought that why this lizard is there. You doesn't like that lizard. But the lizard likes Canisa so much, it makes it a point to enter her room. Same may be true with Vismita. Whenever she sights a cockroach, am I right, Vismita? Am I
Yes,
right?
sir.
Yeah. She also does all type of dances, Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, break dance, whatnot. All type of dances she does the moment it comes, so she screams and calls her mom. Am I right, Vismita? And runs away to find the broomstick to greet it. So we feel that we are only the creatures to be here on the earth, and all other creatures, whatever you come across, they are of useless. They are not deserving to be alive. That's why the moment you sight a snake, you are going to kill it. Am I right, Prithvi? Am I right, Rakesh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
sir.
is it that all these creatures which are found in and around you are of no use? They are of definite use to us. So, if you look into the question, why should we conserve biodiversity? Not that we are doing a great favor to them. Remember, we have to conserve biodiversity for our own benefit. What is this benefit? Let us look into that. There are many reasons, some obvious, some others not so obvious, but all reasons are equally important. Biodiversity conservation is grouped into three categories. What are the reasons for which we have to conserve biodiversity? It is of three categories. One is narrowly utilitarian, second one is broadly utilitarian, and third one is ethical. Narrowly utilitarian, broadly utilitarian, and ethical. Now let us study these one by one. What do you mean by narrow utilitarian? What do you mean by broadly utilitarian? What do you mean by ethical? All these are important for your board examination. What is the narrow utilitarian? Conservation, broadly utilitarian, and ethical. Now let us take up this one by one. The narrowly utilitarian arguments, the narrowly utilitarian cause argues or narrowly utilitarian arguments for conserving biodiversity are obvious. What is that? We human beings derive countless direct economic benefits from nature. What are these? Remember, this is what a narrowly utilitarian category includes that we human beings derive countless direct economic benefits from nature. What are they? Food. We get it from cereals. We get pulses. We get fruits from the nature. You may say, oh sir, cereals we are growing. Yes, you are growing, but you are growing in nature. Pulses also. So you come across this direct benefit from nature in the form of food, cereals, pulses, fruits. Then we also get firewood, fiber, construction material, industrial products like tannin, lubricants, dyes, resins, perfumes, etc. And also products of medical importance. Yes? Yes? So, this is what we have. We have, these are the different benefits that we get from the nature. We get cereals, pulses, fruits in the form of food. We get the fiber, construction material, industrial products, and all. And also, we get a lot of medicines from the medicinal plants from the nature. These are all direct use to the human beings. That is what is called narrowly utilitarian. Narrowly utilitarian includes direct benefit from the nature that we get, or direct benefit that we get from the nature. I hope it is understood. Am I right? Nadira? Have you followed? Tanusri?
Yes, sir.
Jayasri?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us look into more than, look here. When I say all these medicinal plants we get from nature, generally there is one saying. What is that saying, you know? Every alternative plant you come across in the forest is a medicinal plant. What is that saying? Every alternative plant you come across in a forest is the medicinal plant. That means, if you look into 10 plants, plant 1 is medicinal, plant 3 is a medicinal, plant 5 is medicinal, plant 7 is a medicinal. More than 25% of the drugs, whatever you get in the medical shops, currently sold in the market worldwide, are derived from plants. I am not telling Ayurvedic medicine. I am telling allopathic medicine. Whatever these doctors, MBBS doctors, allopathy degree holding doctors, whatever they give, more than 25% of the medicines that are sold in the market, allopathic medicines, are derived from plants. No doubt, 25,000 species of plants contribute to the traditional medicines used by native peoples around the world. 25,000. How many species of medicinal plants you know in India? How many species of plants you know from India? On the other day, I have told you the number. How many are there? Any idea?
0.5 million.
45?
1,000 species.
Who said million? Yes? So, out of the 45,000 species, if at all you come across a 25 means it is more than 50, no? So, 25,000 species of plants contribute to traditional medicine. What do you mean by traditional medicine? Navya, what do you mean by traditional medicine? Prithvi, Lohit, what is the traditional medicine?
Ayurvedic medicine.
Ayurvedic medicine is Ayurvedic medicine. It need not be traditional medicine. Yes, it includes Ayurvedic medicine, no doubt. But the traditional medicine is a medicine which is followed in the villages, folklore medicine. You know, there are so many pandits, villagers. They have not done any courses. They have not done any courses of MBBS, Ayurvedic, Unani, homeopathy, whatever it may be. They themselves prepare the medicine by collecting these plants, their roots, the stem, leaves, flowers, birds, seeds, fruits, etc. And they do treat some of the ailments. Local people treat some of these diseases, some of these health problems. And this is called folklore medicine. No doubt they make use of these plants only for medical purpose. And around 25,000 species of plants are used in the folklore medicine all over the world by the native people in their local area. I have seen my own students' mother at Sringeri treating so many problems of women. Even now she's alive, and she wants someone to come forward to learn from her. She is 80 plus now, and she wants some people to come forward and to learn from her whatever traditional medicine she is practicing. To the best knowledge of mine, she treats almost all problems of women, including your white discharge, including your this problem regard to the periods, heavy bleeding, painful period, including that of the issues having no child. For all type of gynec problems, she gives the medicine. And she has learned from her elders. She has not gone to any particular school to learn that. And in this way, there are about 25,000 species of plants are used in the traditional medicine. Nobody knows how many more medicinally useful plants are there in a tropical rainforest waiting to be explored. We don't know how many more are there because we have not at all discovered all the plant species that exist now. Right? Okay? With increasing resources put into bioprospecting, what is that bioprospecting? Exploring molecular, genetic, and species level diversity for products of economic importance. Nations endowed with the rich biodiversity can expect to reap enormous benefits. That means, if you have more, if at all any country is rich in biodiversity, definitely it will get a rich economic benefit. It will earn more. It will become rich. it gets enormous economic benefits. Enormous benefits it gets economically. More rich is a nation, more rich will be its earning because of the biodiversity. Now let us come to broadly utilitarian. I said narrowly utilitarian is the direct benefit humans get from the nature. Broadly utilitarian category argument says that biodiversity plays a major role in many ecosystem services that nature provides. What is this ecosystem service that nature provides? Now, you do not know how much of the air, pure air, rich in oxygen we get from the nature. How much of the food we get from the nature? Of course, that is a narrowity in the reference human being. How much of this light you get from nature? This is all from nature you get. How much of the air you get to breathe from the nature? How much of the water you get from the nature? All these come under broadly utilitarian argument. Broadly utilitarian argument says that biodiversity plays a major role in many ecosystem services that the nature provides. The fast dwindling Amazon forest, you have already heard. Amazon forest, what is that it is credited? What is that Amazon forest is called?
Lung of the planet.
Lung of the planet, Earth. The fast dwindling Amazon forest is also getting destroyed, just like our Western Ghats. The fast dwindling Amazon forest is estimated to produce through photosynthesis 20% of the total oxygen in the world, Earth's atmosphere. Remember, where is Amazon? Where is India? Where is Australia? 20% of the total oxygen that is found in the Earth's atmosphere is produced from Amazon forest. That is why it is called lung of the planet Earth. Can you put an economic value on this service by nature? I hope. Aisha, Rafa, are you there?
Yes, sir.
I told on the other day, if you happens to be there at Delhi, did I say anything? Do you remember? If at all you go to the shop, not to eat pani puri, not to eat, what is that? Pizza, not to eat gobi manchuri. If Rafa goes to a shop at Delhi, why for? Why for? Why for?
Oxygen.
You know how much money you may have to give? How much I said?
20 rupees, I guess.
20 rupees for?
15 minutes.
20 rupees for 15 minutes. Oh my goodness.
300 rupees.
You'll happily give 20 bucks, you'll throw. Who said it? Aisha or Rafa?
Rafa, sir.
Huh?
Rafa.
Rafa? Either you know someone there, you get a concession for Rafa. Who remembers how much I said?
300.
How for
15 minutes.
or 50? Is it the voice of Navya? Or
Blessy, sir.
Huh?
It's Blessy.
Blessy. I get confused between Blessy, Navya, Kanisa voice. Navya?
Yes, sir.
Kanisa?
Yes, sir.
Oh, it little bit high picture. Blessy?
Yes, sir.
Little bit. Okay. I have to hear all three sounds. Okay. Yes, Blessy. Good. It is for 15 minutes, 20 rupees. Rafa,
Yes, sir.
20 rupees per
300, sir.
20 rupees per 1 minute.
Okay.
1 minute. So, if you put like that, now Rafa is in her sweet 16. Rafa,
Yes, sir.
16 years.
No, sir, I'm 18.
Not just always. You should not tell the age. All girls are always 16. Even at the age of 16, 16. Okay, you don't know that? You don't know
No,
that?
sir.
Yeah,
No, I don't know.
we should not ask the age of any girl. You don't know? I never ask. We should not ask the age of any women. Okay? All girls, let us say that all girls, whatever it may be, she said it 80 and then. You just count how much of the money you may have to give to nature for breathing oxygen in the last 18 years, that 365 days each year, then you have 24 hours each day, and in that 24 hours, how many minutes you have that 1 minute you have to pay 20 rupees. Calculate how much you have to give, how much money you have to give to nature, how much money you have to give to nature for breathing this. You're unimaginable. You can't imagine that. How much money you have to give, you cannot imagine it at all. That much we owe to nature. This is what is called broadly utilitarian. You can get some idea by finding out how much your neighborhood hospital spends on a cylinder of oxygen. Whenever ambulance comes, whenever ambulance picks up a patient and takes him or her to the hospital, in that ambulance there will be always oxygen cylinder. Whether you use that cylinder of oxygen or not, generally the moment the service is charged, they are charged for all that things. They will not see whether the patient used that oxygen or not used the oxygen. For lifting the patient in ambulance, all that charges one has to pay. So this is what a broad utilitarian, how much we owe to the nature. Pollination, without which plants cannot give us the fruits or seed, is another service ecosystem provided through pollinators, layer bees, bumblebees, birds, pets. You know, without pollination, you will not get any fruits. Without fruits, you cannot survive. All the plants, whatever that are present in the nature, they should get properly pollinated. And we are making use of this product of pollination. So you just imagine how much you owe to this insects. The moment, yes, I have one question. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Who are the important pollinators on this earth? Come on. Boys, you answer. You should not feel that I'm asking questions only to the girls. Hello. Who will answer? Our six Pandavas have come. Smita, have they come? Smita,
Yes, sir.
whether these six Pandavas have come?
No, sir.
No?
No.
Yes, come on. Charan, Chinmayi, Harshvardhan, Siddesh, Sarvesh, Vishwas. Let them sleep. I know that they have the examination. This is not the way. There will be examination every day. Come on. Prithviraj, Rakesh.
Honeybee,
Bees.
sir.
Huh? Rakesh?
Bees.
Bees. Very good. The bees are the most important pollinators on this earth. But the moment that the bee comes, Navya runs away, Nadira runs away, Namrata runs away. And if at all by chance one bee comes and enters in, what Namrata you do? What do you do? Take a broomstick, hit it, kill it, and throw it. Am I right? Am I right? Namrata, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Why you kill it? Simply you can throw it out, you know. Don't kill from tomorrow onwards. Okay? Are you really killing, Namrata?
No, sir.
Then why you said yes, sir?
Sometimes,
Sometimes, see, Namrata, do you have any power to give life to anyone?
no, sir.
No. I permit you only to kill two creatures. Can you tell me? Can you tell why? Which are these?
Humans.
Eh? Whom I have to permit you to kill a human? Huh? Namrata is capable of killing human. Eh? Oh my goodness. You are so cruel. Namrata,
No, sir.
then whom we can, I may say, yes, you can kill, I don't mind. Can you tell me?
No, sir.
Ismita?
Yes, sir.
Mosquito, sir.
Huh?
Mosquito.
Mosquito and cockroach. You can kill them because they are produced in that much number, you cannot control it at all. Doesn't matter. But even housefly, if it can, it is difficult. But otherwise, no. So the pollination, which is a very, very essential service in nature, is another important term coming under. What is that? Savitri. Savitri,
Yes, sir.
what are we discussing now? What we are discussing now?
Pollinator.
That is true. But this comes under three categories. I have finished what category? Which category I am dealing now? Jaya,
Broadly.
broadly utilitarian. Now, there are other intangible benefits that we derive from the nature. The aesthetic pleasures of walking through thick wood. What is that? Many times you may think about going to Agumbe or going to Kudemuk area, National Park area, or maybe interested to go to Baba Budangiri, or maybe interested to go to this Kurg. Why for? Aisha. Why for? Kanisa. Why for? Janani. Janani. Question to you. Question to you. Janani,
Yes, sir.
why?
To
Why do
enjoy
you?
nature.
Huh? To enjoy nature. How much enjoyment you get from that? Can you measure? Generally, you got this much kg of enjoyment, this much of liters of enjoyment. Can you measure?
No.
No. The aesthetic pleasures of walking through thick wood. You see, oh, that wood, you see this bird, you see this butterfly, you feel some sort of happiness. You can't evaluate in terms of money. You can't say that it's this much crore, this much of lakh. There are other intangible benefits that we derive from nature. You cannot count the price at all. You cannot measure in terms of money that we derive from nature. The aesthetic pleasures of walking through thick wood, you know, Kanisa, this newly wedded couple, they go for what, Kanisa? What, Kanisa? They go for
Honeymoon.
honeymoon. Where they go? They go to such places. They don't go for honeymoon to the market. They make it a point to go to such places where they get the happiness, watching spring flowers in full bloom, or waking up to bulbul's song in the morning. Kuhu, kuhu, there's a bird. Which bird it is, Janani? Which bird calls like that? Kuhu, have you heard about that? Kuhu, kuhu. Anyone? Prakti? Rakesh? Namrata?
Cuckoo bird, sir.
Cuckoo bird, koel. You know how nicely it will sing in the morning? Yeah, I have enjoyed that koel call for 25 years. Can you put a price tag on such things? No. This all comes under the broadly utilitarian. So you have studied what to do, Kavita, Kavi, Kavita.
Yes, sir.
What to do you have studied now?
You are saying about cuckoo bird, sir.
Pardon?
Cuckoo bird, sir.
No, I am asking you. We are looking to the benefit that we get from the biodiversity. What are the two arguments now we have seen? Two categories.
Narrowly utilitarian and broadly
Broadly
utilitarian.
utilitarian. The other one is ethical. The ethical argument for conserving biodiversity relates to what we owe to millions of plant, animal, microbe species with whom we share this planet. All this, whatever we have seen, is the services done by this. These are different. Broadly utilitarian, this is what you have said, the services that is done. Whatever that you get in terms of oxygen, in terms of this pollution, that others are doing help for us. Okay. And ethical argument for conserving biodiversity relates to that what we owe to millions of plants, animal, micro species with whom we share this planet. We share this planet. Philosophically or spiritually, we need to realize that every species has an intrinsic value, even if it may not be of current or any economic value to us. We always see in terms of what benefit I get from this plant, what benefit I get from this animal, what benefit I get from this microbe. Whenever you see, now all of you are very much scared of virus. We have banned that. Oh, virus, coronavirus. If you consider that all viruses are bad, wrong. All microbes are bad, wrong. All bacteria are bad, wrong. Harmful, no. We do have in all these categories beneficial one also. We are benefited by these. We are benefited by these plants, animals, micro species. Some of this benefit we may not see with our nature. It may not be direct benefit, but indirectly we are benefited. Let me tell you just one incident. Earlier days, whenever we used to go for most of the time organic farming, I am telling prior to 1960s, when the crops used to be grown by using cow dung and organic manure, at that time, these many problems were not there from insects. When organic farming was done, these many insect problem was not there. Can you tell me why? Who will tell me? Hello? Prathviraj? Lohit? Can you tell me why? Hello? Hello? In earlier days, when agriculture was practiced with most of the time with organic manure, I am telling that this much problem by the insects were not there. Come on. Why? What may be the reason? Anyone? 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 First of all, these many insects never used to bother us with regard to the crops because the insects were very much eaten by their predator like frogs, right? And these frogs were very much plenty. I think I have told you on the other day that during my childhood, I used to see people coming to my village at night time with big gunny bags with gas light to collect the frogs. And within about 3 to 4 hours of search, they used to take one full gunny bag of a frog while going. That many frogs used to be there. And that many snakes used to be there. What happened? We started catching these snakes like a rat snake and all for the purpose of skin, which are extensively used in the preparation of a belt and other materials. This also resulted sometimes, of course, we used to collect these amphibians also. So the ecosystem got imbalanced. So when the frogs were removed more and more, insect population increased. And more than that, insect population increased. And this insect population increase made us to go for using insecticide. Okay? So what I wanted to tell you here, we do not know how much other organisms are important for us, in what way other organisms are helping us in their own way, we are not at all knowing it. Therefore, the ethical argument for conserving biodiversity relates to what we owe to millions of plant, animal, and microspecies with whom we share this planet. Philosophically and spiritually, we need to realize that every species has an intrinsic value, even if it may not be of current or any economic value to us. The only species which has no intrinsic value is Namrata. The only species which has no intrinsic value is Namrata. Namrata? Hello?
Yes, sir.
What is the answer?
Yes, sir.
What is the answer? What is the question? You are not there?
Most intrinsic species.
You tell me which one. I am asking you. The species which has no intrinsic value is
Humans.
human. I said Namrata. Namrata is a human. Not only Namrata, even GKB also. We have a moral duty to care for their well-being and pass on our biological legacy in good order to future generations. Many times we see that whenever there are some plants nearby our house and these plants are of no use, let us think that one day Janani has come across a plant, a weed which has leaves, which has flowers. The moment she touches that leaves, they just folded, gets folded. What is that, Janani? What is that,
Mimosa
Janani?
pudica.
Huh?
Mimosa pudica.
Mimosa pudica. What this our Janani is going to do? If the Mimosa pudica is there nearby her house in her garden,
Remove all those.
remove all those. Let us say that it is not required, that it is not going to create any problem to her. But even then, Janani is going to remove them. Why? 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 Janani is not going to remove them. Janani is going to remove them because Mimosa pudica has thorns and it pricks and her hand gets hurt. Am I right? Or a leg gets hurt. Am I right? That is why Janani makes it a point not to have touch me not to plant in her garden. You know what is the benefit that you get from touch me not plant in the garden? Janani. Janani. Janani, have you run away?
No, sir.
You know that touch me not plant is of beneficial to you? Is of some
It
benefit to you?
performs
Huh? Who will tell me? Who will answer my question? Is it of any benefit to you? Hello?
Medicinal plant.
Who said it?
Blessy.
Bless in what way? It is beneficial, you know.
No,
Anyone
sir.
else? Anyone else? Anyone else?
transpiration.
Pardon?
Transpiration.
No. Touch me not plant is a leguminous plant, mimosoidy it belongs, and in the touch me not the plant, there are root nodules. Inside the root nodule, you come across bacteria which fix atmospheric nitrogen. Nitrogen is fixed in that root nodule. But the Janani is that, oh, this Mimosa pudica is not good, let me cut it and let me throw it. So, Janani, from tomorrow onwards, whatever the plants you have in and around you, if at all it is not going to create any problem to you, you have to let it to live. Okay? Okay? So,
Yes,
if
sir.
at all you have some space on your terrace where you can grow some pot, where you can grow some plants in the pot, do it. At least you'll be having some happiness. Okay, this plant is growing and that much carbon dioxide it is getting converted to oxygen. So this is what. So therefore, this is what ethical argument. How do we conserve biodiversity? When you conserve and protect the whole ecosystem, its biodiversity automatically gets protected. So you need not to take care with regard to the tiger, with regard to the elephant, with regard to the Indian bison, gaur, or to that any animal that you come across in the forest. You need not to take any individual attention to this individual caring about individual animal. What you have to do? Leave the forest itself. Don't trouble the forest. Don't spoil the forest. If the whole forest is protected, all the organisms in the forest they get protected. Are you following me? When you conserve and protect the whole ecosystem, its biodiversity at all levels is protected. Alpha, beta, gamma, all biodiversity gets protected. So when you save the entire forest, we save the tiger. To save the tiger, save the entire forest. This approach is called in situ conservation. What is it called? In situ conservation. It is called in situ conservation. That means on-site conservation. That means conserving wherever they are. Wherever they are. However, when there are situations where an animal or plant is endangered or threatened and needs urgent measures to save it from extinction, ex situ conservation is required. You please be tolerant with these two terms. In situ, in its place, in its original place. Ex situ, outside its original place. So, in situ conservation is conserving the plant or animal species wherever it is growing, wherever it is living. Ex situ conservation is the one whenever we come across there is a problem with the nature, this particular plant or this particular animal cannot survive in the nature, bringing its plant to botanical garden, making all efforts to grow them successfully, make them to flower successfully, make them to produce the seeds successfully, or the animal making it to breed in the captivity like a zoological park or zoos, making it to breed there, to breed that produce young one. This is what is called access to conservation. Understood? Understood? Tanu, 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 Tanusri.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what is this in situ and ex situ? Quickly. What is in situ and ex situ conservation? Don't read. Quickly you have to tell. Navya? Navya?
Yes, sir.
Tell me. Are you not hearing?
I am, sir.
Prithvi, sorry Navya, you are not attentive. Sorry Tanu, you are not attentive. Who will tell me what is in situ and what is ex situ conservation? Quickly, with the minimum words.
In situ conservation is the conservation of the extinct species in its habitat. Ex situ conservation is the conservation of this.
Pardon?
Ex situ conservation is the conservation of the species, bringing it to the botanical garden from its habitat.
I have told in another way. Who will tell me in a very simple word I have said? In situ, ex situ.
Inside the original habitat.
1 minute, 1 minute. Who is this? Come on, two of you have started telling.
In situ means inside the original habitat.
Who is this?
Janani.
Janani, correct. In situ conservation means in its original habitat. Ex situ conservation means outside its original habitat. Rakesh, you are right. You are right, but you have used the term extinct, am I right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
No,
Yes, sir.
we don't use the term extinct. Extinct means it is no more. It is no more. Extinct means it has already become extinct. There is no more living species today. So, if you conserve any particular species in its original place, now let us say that you have a particular species seen only at the Kaveri River, Mysore, and you don't see this species anywhere else in the whole world. Now, you take a measure to protect this species and see that it is breeding successfully by taking all measures in Kaveri River only, that is in situ conservation. Or if at all you have seen one particular deer which is in a very much danger in its natural habitat in a forest, and you are taking this deer from that forest of Someshwara, you are taking it to the park, to some zoos near Mangalore. What is that? What is that? That's one small park. You know? Okay, leave it. So, if at all you get it to Mysore Zoological Park and take measures to see that it is living happily there, growing and breeding, producing one, that is ex situ conservation. So, in situ is on site, ex situ is off site. In situ means in its origin place, on site. Ex situ means off means out, outside the site. Okay, in situ conservation. Faced with the conflict between development and conservation. What is this conflict between development and conservation? Many times people ask the question, sir, you are telling you have to conserve, you have to conserve, you have to conserve. Don't you want any road? Don't you want any development? Whether you would like to stay in the good old age? These are the questions generally put. You know, now there are certain central government programs, one of which is that each and every village should get electricity. Each and every village should have electricity. In order to give electrical current or electricity to each and every village, no doubt some of these forests, the line should go to some of the forest. At that time, some of the forest trees have to be cut. So do you say that we don't want that one? I am not telling that. We have to conserve. I am not against development. Development should take place by keeping it in point the conservation also. It is possible to have both in a systematic way, in a meticulous way. Faced with the conflict between development and conservation, many nations find it unrealistic and economically not feasible to conserve all their biological wealth This is what is felt by most of the nations. We want development. We want development. We want to generate electricity by hydro power, hydro power. That means we have to store water in the reservoir. We have to build these dams, and we have to store water, and we have to make this water to run to the lower region. At that time, electricity gets generated. But to have the dam, to store the water, lot of forests get cut. So on one hand, we want electricity. On the other hand, we don't want to cut the trees. Is it possible? My question is that why that you have to go for only that type of power generation? Can't you make use of the power generation with the help of wind? Can't you make the power generation with the help of whatever the waves that we have in the sea? If we make it a point, it is possible. We have to go for some of this development with causing minimum damage to the nature. So, faced with the conflict between development and conservation, many nations find it unrealistic and economically not feasible to conserve all their biological wealth. Invariably, the number of species waiting to be saved from extinction far exceeds the conservation resources available. Now, let me just tell you, recently I had been to Malnad area like Koppa, Sringeri, Jayapura, Balehonnuru, Chikkamangaluru. I am seeing lot of trees got cut for the purpose of widening the road. The question is that, is it that now you must know that biodiversity, that Western Ghat, I'll come to that point later, Western Ghat is one of the biodiversity hotspots of the world. Even in this biodiversity hotspot, we are seeing unchecked damage to the nature. My point is that why that much of wide and road, double road has to be formed in this thick evergreen forest. Let the movement get delayed whenever the people travel there. You go for such a widening of the roads in some other places, not in the midst of the Western Ghat, which is one of the hotspots of the world. Where is hotspot of the world? So, if you mind, we can go for alternate way also. For each and every problem, we will be having hundreds of solutions. On a global basis, the problem has been addressed by eminent conservationists. They identified what is that we want to development, at the same time we want conservation, biodiversity conservation. So this matter was discussed at the world level, global level, and they have addressed this problem got addressed by eminent conservationists. They identified for maximum protection certain biodiversity hotspots. Certain biodiversity hotspot. What do you mean by this? Always ask a question. What is biodiversity hotspot? Look here. Biodiversity hotspots are the regions with a very high level of species richness and high degree of endemism. This answer for the question, what is biodiversity hotspot? A biodiversity hotspot is the region with very high levels of species richness. That means when compared to other area, more number of species are present in this area. It is with a high level, very high level of species richness. More number of different species are here, not only plants, animals also, and have high degree of endemism. That means whatever species you come across here, species you come across here, you will not come across any other part of the world. This is what is called biodiversity hotspot. Biodiversity hotspot is a region with a very high level of species number and with very high degree of endemism. Another question it is asked is, what is endemism? Endemism means the species that is confined to that region and not found anywhere else. That is what is called endemism. We say endemic species. Endemic species means the species that is present in that particular area only. I say one particular species, Geginophis goensis. I say Geginophis madaensis is endemic to Western Ghat. That means this species is not found anywhere outside Western Ghat. Okay? Rafa, Rafa,
Yes, sir.
Rafa. Tell
Yes,
me
sir.
what is biodiversity hotspot?
Where
You are
endemic
reading.
species are present.
What do you mean by biodiversity hotspot? If I ask you the question for 1 mark, can you add to that, Aisha? What is biodiversity hotspot? Aisha,
Yes, sir.
come on.
Where many species are present, variety of species.
Biodiversity hotspot is the region with the very high number of species and with and with and with
High
Lohit,
degree of endemic.
high degree of endemic species. Lohit,
Yes, sir.
Lohit, what is endemic species?
Sir, which is present in only one area.
The species that is present in only one area is called endemic species. Can anyone know what is the opposite to this word, endemic? I say Parthenium is exotic species. Water hyacinth, icon is exotic species. Do you know what is that exotic species means?
Found everywhere.
Who said it?
Janani.
Janani, it is wrong. Exotic species is the species that we got from outside India. Exotic, not the species of the place. It has come from other place. So you have host impression, HF. What is it? Host impression, HF. Jersey. What is that HF and Jersey?
Breeds of cows.
Breeds of cow. Have I not told at that time, Navya, exotic species and endemic species?
Yes, sir.
Janani?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have mentioned that time. Exotic species are the species that are found outside India, which we got it into India. Endemic species are the one which are found in India only. Can anyone name the endemic species of cow of Karnataka? Endemic species of cow, cattle, which is known to be seen in Karnataka.
Halikar.
Then, is it the voice of Vismita?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good, great. Star of the day, Vismita. Halikar. Then, another one starts with A.
Amrit Mahal.
Amrit Mahal. Good. So, coming back here. So, in this way, you have endemic species. Initially, there are only 25 biodiversity hotspots. Initially, 25 biodiversity hotspots were identified, but now subsequently 9 more have been added to the list. So please remember, at present, if at all you are asked how many biodiversity hotspots are there, answer is 34. Initially, 25 biodiversity hotspots were identified, but subsequently, 9 more have been added to the list, bringing the total number of biodiversity hotspots in the world to 34. These hotspots are also regions of accelerated habitat loss. This is the most pathetic condition. We know actually these are the biodiversity hotspots. I hope you know what is the biodiversity hotspots definition. They are with a high number of species with a high rate of endemism. Here, the number of species are more compared to other places, but at the same time, the number of species which are found, they are found there only and nowhere else. In fact, these particular biodiversity hotspots should have been protected like anything. It should have been protected to the maximum extent. To the maximum extent. With regard to this protection of this Western Ghat biodiversity, Western Ghats, two eminent scientists worked on this. What are the reasons which makes this Western Ghats to lose the forest? One is Dr. Madhav Gadgil. Madhav Gadgil of University of Science. And another one, another scientist, Kasturi Rangan. These two eminent scientists have given their own report, what is happening to the Western Ghat, what all things are happening in Western Ghat, and why that Western Ghat is getting spoiled in Karnataka. And I was very much associated with this scientist, Madhav Gadgil, and that is why one of the limbless species I have named in honor of this Madhav Gadgil. He is at Pune now. He is living at Pune, Madhav Gadgil. Madhav Gadgil gave one report to the Karnataka government. It said that in these places, Western Ghat is getting spoiled very much, and it was not accepted by people. People never liked that report. Another person was appointed, another scientist got appointed by name Kasturi Rangan, and he also gave the report. And it also said that yes, these are the damages that are happening in different parts of Karnataka, and people are not ready to accept both the report. So our funeral, these people, they are not at all worked for the sake of money. They wanted to caution the government. If at all it is happening in the near future, within another 100 to 200 years, we are going to suffer. Don't you see that? How much climatic changes we are experiencing nowadays? Even though these scientists, both of these scientists have given the report, without even a iota, without even a naya paisa, even a single penny benefit to them, they are bothered about the nature. They are bothered about the welfare of the future generation. They have given the report, and both these reports are not accepted by these or present-day politicians for their vote bank. Useless fellows. So this is what is happening. Remember, as long as these particular political parties they make it a point to win the vote by money and muscle power, our nature is not going to be safe. So, much of this damage is happening here. Much of the habitat loss is happening here in Western Ghat. And this is one of the hotspots which is supposed to be protected in all respect without causing whatever damage has happened, let it happen. Now you have to see that no more damages are happening. That's what I said. Recently, when I visited this Western Ghat, some of the parts of Western Ghat, my blood was boiling. I could not tolerate the damage that's happening. I cursed these people who have given the permission for this widening of the roads. One particular tree, to grow it in their natural places, it requires sometimes 200 to 300 years. Such trees are mercilessly felled just for widening of the roads, just in the name of the development. And even One of the movies there, I don't know when it is going to materialize. People wanted train service from Chikmagalur to Sringeri. If at all the railway lines have to be put within the Chikmagalur to Sringeri, thousands of hectares of forest land has to be cut. It has to be destroyed. What will happen if at all the people don't come by train to that place? If they are so much interested, let them airlift to them. This is what's happening. In fact, this is what we have to discuss. We have a lot of other issues to discuss, and not that what is required by us urgently. 3 of these hotspots, Western Ghat and Sri Lanka, Indo-Burma and Himalaya. Western Ghats and Sri Lanka together one biodiversity hotspot, but you know that Western Ghats belongs to India, Sri Lanka is a separate. Indo-Burma and Himalaya cover our country's exceptionally high biodiversity region. Now, Burma is also not in our control. So we say East Himalaya. East Himalaya is one of the biodiversity hotspots of India, and Western Ghat is another one. So Western Ghat and Eastern Himalaya, these are the 2 biodiversity hotspots of India. Although all the biodiversity hotspots put together cover less than 2%. Look here, importance of this. Although all the biodiversity hotspots put together cover less than 2% of Earth's land area. Okay. Jayasri?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How many biodiversity hotspots are there in India? In the world, no? In the world? Total number of biodiversity hotspots?
34, sir.
34. So, although all the biodiversity hotspots put together cover less than 2% of the Earth's land area, the number of species they collectively harbor is extremely high, and strict protection of these hotspots could reduce the ongoing mass extinction by 30%. Please try to understand this question. If you look into all the 34 biodiversity hotspots, Prithvi, if you look into all the 34 biodiversity hotspots, the area-wise coverage is less than 2% of the total land area, Earth's land area. Even if at all you protect this 2% of the land area in the whole Earth, it is going to reduce the ongoing extinction of the species by 30%. That means, if you protect this 2% of Earth's land area, you are preventing 30% of the population from becoming extinct. Understood? Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that means we have to protect our Western Ghat very much. Let us think about protecting the biodiversity hotspot what you have in India. Let other countries bother about their own biodiversity hotspots. But unfortunately, listen to me, human beings are human beings. Wherever they go, the most selfish, greedy, ungrateful, cruel, thankless person on this earth is me and you. It is me and you. We never bother with that. Please know, my dear children, because our grandfather's grandfather, because our grandparents have that much of a love and affection for the nature, because they have considered least damage, minimum damage to nature, at least we are in a position to breathe this atmospheric air without getting it clean. We are in a position to drink at least some of the water from the natural resources. What are we going to give to our grandchildren? Tell me, Vismita, tell me, Nadira, tell me, Janani, Navya, Lohit, Rakesh. What are we leaving for our future generation? We are polluting everywhere. Every system we are polluting. We have no concern at all for our grandchildren's grandchildren. Is it not that it is the need of the day that immediately we have to take care of that? You may think, sir, why you are telling all these things to us? Can you, sir? Why am I expressing my anger on you? Come on. Why I am expressing my anger on you, Blessy? Prithvi?
Yes, sir.
Rajesh? Namya?
Yes, sir.
Why? Why?
Because we are the future generation.
Pardon?
We are the future generation.
You are the future generation. Why I am expressing this is, at least tomorrow, if Navya becomes the first woman chief minister of Karnataka, Navya,
Yes, sir.
if she becomes first chief minister of Karnataka, woman chief minister of Karnataka, at least if at all Navya remembers it a little bit of this, or Kaniksa becomes governor, or Aisha becomes another minister, or Prithviraj, at least at that time, you remember that, oh, this is the thing. My argument is that each and every political party should make it mandatory that before contesting this election, one should attend one small course on the ecology. Most of these people are not at all aware. They don't have any idea with regard to the biodiversity, what is the important biodiversity, why we should conserve biodiversity. Now tell me, don't you feel that we have to take more concern about protecting our biodiversity hotspots? Namrata, what do you say? We have to show more concern. Whatever little bit we can do, we have to do it. At least forget about it. Sir, you are telling that chief minister, this minister, that. At least, if at all you become some official, at least, if at all you get an opportunity to talk in the some public forum, at least at that time you will just tell your views. If at all you take note of this, what I am telling now. Okay? So, this is what is required. In India, ecologically unique and biodiversity rich regions are legally protected as biosphere reserves. So, what measures are taken now? Yes, as I said, Western Ghats, we have Kudimak National Park area, we have Someshwara Wildlife Sanctuary, lots are there. We have lots of biosphere reserves, we have national parks, we have sanctuaries, in India. Altogether, there are 14 biosphere reserves, 90 national parks, 448 wildlife sanctuaries. There is a strict rule legislation to protect that these all areas, but most of that only in the book. And these people who always sell them for vitamin M. They are ready to do anything for vitamin M. Unfortunately, they are the forest managers. What did I say, Rakesh? What did I say, Rakesh? These biosphere reserves, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, they are all looked after by, taken care by the forest department. Okay? In the forest department, there will be range forest officers, there will be division forest officers, DFOs, and above that, there will be that officials like the chief wildlife warden, conservator forest, deputy conservator forest, chief conservator forest. Most of them are corrupt. Most of them are corrupt because they are under the, because they have to be under the goodwill of most of the politicians. If at all we take care of all this, to a certain extent we can protect our biodiversity. And this, what you have, national parks and sanctuaries in India. And have you seen that? Have you seen that I have sent you something? Have any of you seen that? I have put these slides in your group. Have any of you noticed it before starting of the class?
Yes,
So
sir.
you must be thorough with these national parks and sanctuaries, the name of the national parks or sanctuaries, and which type of animals are present there, protected there. Okay, I will leave it to you. You please go to that. Please go through the previous examination question paper also, and that will help you. So Bannerghatta National Park, it is known for these animals, barking deer, elephants, toothpick like that. Ranganthittu Bird Sanctuary is a bird sanctuary. It is mainly known for birds. Rajiv Gandhi National Park area, barking deer, sambas, toothpick like that. So please look at all this and remember some of that. Gir National Park is known for lion. Only the lion that we have, that the national park with the lion population, is the Gir National Park. Okay, you know Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, you have heard about that, Kyoladio, that is in Rajasthan, and we have Ranthambore Tiger Project area, Jim Corbett National Park, Khanna National Park, Hajarburg National Park. You must know all this. You, and with some of these animals which are peculiar to that. So, uh, now this is some more. Okay, please be thorough with that. Kaziranga is known for that of the single order rhinoceros. You must have a little bit of that. Not that you have to remember all these examples, but you should know little bit of especially some of these peculiar important animals like the lion-tailed macaca in the silent valley of Kerala like that. So these are biosphere reserves in India. So these are the names you should become familiar. Okay, right. Now this is a list of biosphere reserves in India. Now, India has also a history of religious and cultural tradition that emphasizes protection of nature. Not only that, right from time immemorial, our people used to show a little bit of concern with regard to the protection of the nature in their own way. In many cultures, tracts of forests were set aside and all the trees and wildlife within were venerated and given total protection. So you have what is called one way, and I shall stop it here. We have next class, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Am I right? You have
Yes,
class
sir.
or no?
We have.
Okay. Now let me stop it. Let me stop it here. I'll be completing this. I should have completed by this time. I'll be completing this in tomorrow's class and I'll start environmental pollution. Tomorrow you have my class in the evening, 5:30 to 7. And on Sunday, you have my class in the morning, 6 to 7:30. Okay? Right?